Hi everyone, Jessica here and welcome back to my channel. So we're back with part 2 of making our mini album. So in the last video I showed you how to create this lovely mini album from scratch just using 4 sheets of A4 cardstock. Now in today's video we are going to be decorating and we are going to be picking a winner for the giveaway of this once we are finished. So if you haven't seen part 1 of this video then please do go and check that out. I will link that video for you. So in terms of what we're going to use to decorate this mini album, as I said in that last video, we are going to be using one of these paper boutiques. This is the Winter Gnomes, and this is going to be a winter mini album that we're going to create that you're going to be able to pop your photos in. So in here, the reason I picked this one is because we've got quite a lot still left to use of this paper kit. So what I'm going to do first of all is just go through this box here. I'm going to find the bits and pieces that it is that I want to use, and then we'll come back and start cutting our pieces down. So I've kind of sorted this out. It was all a little bit of a mess, to be honest. I've got a lot of stuff here and a lot of this is you know, sort of bits and pieces, but I basically got patterned papers, which includes the inserts. We've got toppers here and then the plain cardstock as well. So we're gonna try and kind of use as much as possible here, but the first thing I think I want to do is work out what I want to put on the flap, the front and the back. So in here we do have some, you know, more subtle papers. We've got the spots there, there's a couple of toppers, and then we have the lovely insert pages as well. We've got these kind of big gnome pages, which I think could look quite cute, but it depends on, do we want to kind of build these pieces up, or do we want to have a kind of a big gnome on the front? Let's just take a look. I think I'm gonna go with this one just here. So let's move these out of the way for a moment. So I'm just gonna grab my paper trimmer. So I am gonna have to use the larger one because we are pretty much cutting all of these to 7 3/4. So let's trim our first one down. So this front piece is going to be 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. So in terms of, I'm actually just going to take a little bit off the top and off the bottom there. But you can make these paper pads as well, of course, with the 8x8 papers, which is really what I wanted to do here. Okay, so I've actually changed my mind in terms of the height of this. We're going to do 7 5/8 instead of 7 3/4, just to get that better width around to that nicer white border. And we're just going to add some glue to this piece. So let's just get that nicely lined up. So what we could do is just open that up just to make sure we get that stuck down nicely. So now we've got this strip here, which has got that lovely little bit of poinsettia. This is going to be for our gusset up here, and this is 1/2 inch by 7 5/8. So let's just get that into place. And what you could do is add either to this side, but you might be a little bit better off this side, is you could then add you know, Christmas and the year on there, or the occasion and the date. So now we've got that piece, and then we just need to pick a piece for the back. So for the back, I've picked this one here again with that lovely gnome. And then what I like is you've got the poinsettias in those three sort of corners there. So let's get this one stuck down. So if we open this up, we can see just how this is looking. So the last two pieces that we've got to decorate is this gusset here, and then our front flap. So this is how our book is looking so far. So if we just open it up, we can see you've got all of these backgrounds, and I wanted to add something a little bit different in here that contrasted more with this one, because I felt like that just kind of blended in a little bit too much. But we're going to pop that on the inside flap there. So that is how that piece is looking. This one here is going to go here, and what I'm going to do is cut all of the pieces for the other sections, and then we can come back and glue them all in. Okay, so we should have everything cut that we now need, and I've tried to do kind of different pieces on each section here. So let's get these stuck down. So there was only two measurements that I had decided to change for these layers, and that was the width of this. I had it originally at 7 3/4, but I changed that to 7 5/8, and then for these widths here, I changed it from 5 3/4 down to 3 7/8 as well. Now of course you can change your mats and layers to what you want it to be. You can do double mats and layers if you want to do plain paper, you know, extra sort of mats and layers there. But I wanted to kind of use as much of our patterned paper as possible. Now I've got quite big sort of white borders and things on here. Again, change that if you want to, but I'm loving how this is looking. I think it's looking super cute at the moment. So we're going to get all these pieces in, and it's nice to be able to kind of decorate every section of this book. The one thing that I would note is obviously for these, I've actually done this in the landscape orientation, even though I've done the outside in portrait. So I'm not too worried about that. Hopefully whoever wins this will be okay with that as well. So this is nice, you know, because you've got that portrait orientation, but when you do come into it, maybe we will continue to do it in the landscape. It wouldn't matter too much really. It's simply any directional papers like these, you know, but I'm not too worried, and I hope that you guys won't be either. So we've got our basic album decorated now. So as I said, you know, the front and the back of it is a portrait, and then the inside is a landscape. But I am really loving how this outside piece is looking. These gnomes are super cute. And then when we open it up, so again, you could then have it this orientation. If you want to, just be careful with how your papers are sitting, but we are going to do it this way as we have put it down. So if we open up our flap, so you've got these panels here, and then each flap has then got 2 panels inside. We've got our big pocket, our big backing, then with our pocket in there. We have then, bring it down, got this panel here again with our pocket. Now, the one thing that you could do, so I've just done this panel here, which does stop short of your flap. But what you can do if you want that piece to go all the way under, and the same with this one here, is before you attach this pocket, you can decorate with your papers for there. And the same with this one, before you stick down this flap here, you could just pop your piece of patterned paper. You don't need to go right the way to the bottom because, you know, you aren't going to see it. But if you don't want to have that white gap there like I've got, just put your papers down before you actually pop your flaps down. But that is the basic basis of the book, and I think it's so cute. I'm absolutely loving how this is looking. I think it is so adorable, and you have got tons of space in there then to bulk it out, and we can do that with our toppers and things that we have got with this Paper Boutique set. So again, I'm just going to go through and pick out some bits and pieces that I want, and I'm going to make some photo mats as well to go in here, ready for the recipient to put their own Christmas photos. So let's just recap what we've done here. So again, we've decorated the complete outside of our box, and then we open these pieces. I've started to add some photo mats in here as well. So if we just open them again, you can see that you've got all of these spaces for 3x4 inch photos, and all that you need to do is basically just cover this white portion here. That will fit because it's cut to the size, and we're going to decorate around those. We're going to add some more in. We've got this one in here which is tucked into the pocket, but this one is actually stuck down. But we can decorate around them, and it's just going to kind of finish off those pages nicely. But you've got lots of room here to add more photos. So we need to add 2 more to each of these sides, and then to these sides as well. So we're going to do that first of all. So I've cut myself some cardstock. So you can see this one here. These are, as I said, 3x4 inches, which I think is going to be a really great size. And then I'm just going to back them onto some coloured card that does match in with this kit. So we've got this one here, but we're going to do these ones. These are 4. So what I love about this is these can be just floating. If you want them to be, you can add text onto the back if these ones are floating inside. And we're going to do 2 bigger sizes as well. And I've just written in here, place photo here, 3x4. So if you are gifting this to someone, and you know, maybe they're not 100% sure what to do, they know to add their photo onto this portion. So all I'm going to do is simply just write that, and if they want to add a smaller photo on here, because I've done this in pencil, I've tried to keep it in a sort of central location, so they should be able to cover it up. If not, they could just rub it out as well. So place photo here. And then we're going to do 3x4, so they know exactly the size that they need to print their photo. You can do these lots of different sizes. If you've got a small alphabet stamp set then, or die set, you could do that as well, rather than doing this by hand. Or potentially there is a stamp set. I know May has a stamp set that has these stamps on there. But I'm simply just going to handwrite it. They're going to put their photos over it anyway, so they won't see it. There, and we have 2 larger ones as well. So these ones, and the ones I've already stuck into the mini album, I have rounded the corners as well on these, but I'm going to leave these ones just as straight corners, as well as these ones here. So I picked out some coloured cardstock that match in with the set, and we can go ahead and start mounting some of these on, and kind of using up some of these scraps. So now we've got our photo mats done, we can add these back in. So with these two big 6x4s, these are going to be tucked into the pockets in here. So we can pop that one in as well. And it doesn't matter, you know, that all of this is overlapping each other. Like so, because what you can do is literally just pull these bits and pieces out, and we're going to add some other bits to our pockets as well. So what we need is 4 mats, photo mats to go on these, and you can do them at angles. You don't have to do them sort of a straight or anything like that. They can be done at angles. So we can pop that one there, we can do to the top or to the side. And I'm adding all of these on to these flat because we don't want to add sort of too much dimension. You can add foam things up on foam tape if you want to, but pretty much most of what's going to go in here is just going to be glued in. So let's pop this one in. Just like so. And then so we've got all of these ones in here, then we have these two, and then we're going to add 2 onto these here. Now obviously we have our design, so you can be a bit more precious with this if you want to, in terms of you know, putting it over the pattern paper where you have those gnomes there. You could do it right up into the corner, maybe so you can see the gnomes a little more, but you know, it's up to you where you want to place these photo mats and what you want to cover up. I'm not too worried about covering much of the paper up, because you can still see sort of the poinsettias and things underneath, and you would still know what was underneath there. So let's pop this one on. Make sure we get it the right way up. Let's just bring this guy back in so we can sort of roughly get them lined up together. And then we have this last photo mat here, which, you know, I could do the same thing again and just glue that one in there so it matched this top one, or we could just simply have it in there. I think I might glue this one in as well. So I'm only placing it just slightly under there, so it'd still be easy for you to be able to add your photo to that one. Again then, so we've got that in there. So that is going to be all of our sort of photo mats that we are going to have in here, as you can see, and then of course the 2 that we've got in the pocket down here. So the last thing to do really is to add some decoration, add some extra pieces in here. So what I have done is taken some of the toppers and things here. It's a shame, so in May's video, obviously the paper pads that she's using, they have sticker sheets and things that have lots of different little bits and pieces in there, but I've kind of tried to go through and I'm going to cut out some of the flowers and things like that, and we're going to add that in and around. What I've done is taken some of these toppers here, more like tags, and I've punched a hole in the top, and we're going to add some twine, and these are going to come in and just sit in the pockets. Now what you can do with these is you can either add a photo to the back, you can do a little bit of bullet journaling, so you can add some writing to the back of these, or you can use these you know, as tags for Christmas presents. So I have got a couple more of those. So let's punch a hole out of this one. And then I've picked out these 2 toppers as well. I'm just going to cut off the little pips on these little tacks that keep them in place. And these 2 you can do the same things with. Again, you can either add a photo to the back of these, you could do some writing on the back of these, or you can use them as tags as well. So let's pop those ones. We're going to add some string to those. Let's add those ones down in there. So we do have 2 of these the same, but that's okay. Let's just pop those in there. And what then I've got as well, like I said, is then all of these pieces, all of these cute little toppers that we're gonna try and add in sort of around the photos and things to decorate them with the flowers then as well. And then we do have this one, All Hearts Come Home to Christmas. So we're going to add sentiments on here as well, because we've got lots of lovely sentiments within this kit. So I'll add just another hole in the top of that one. Again, it can be used however you want. We'll put some twine, so it could be decorative, but again, you can add a photo to that, or you could just write on the back. So I'm going to add that one down there. Let's just pop that one in there so we can see our sentiment. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these out. Okay, so now I've got all my decorations and I've got some sentiments here that we're going to pop on as well. So now we can get to sort of decorating around our pieces. So let's just bring this over, and we're going to start with these two here. So we've got our wonderful gnomes, we've got our large poinsettias here, and then we have some smaller pieces to decorate around as well. So I'm thinking for this one, you know, we could do something like this. And then with the pieces that is overlapping the photo, we're not going to stick those bits down. We want to make sure that you can fit the photo underneath there. So let's just grab our glue. So I'm not going to put any glue on these petals down there. It's only going to be up here. And so the idea is then is that you can still place your photo under it just like that, and it's just going to overlap it a little bit. So let's pop our gnome on as well. So again, we're not putting glue on the bottom portion. And then let's add this little bow. Just there, and I feel like maybe we want to pop a sentiment here. So I want something a little bit smaller. So let's do this. Just believe, just down here. So I'm gonna pull out my trimmer here just so I can get this sort of nice and tightly cut. Just like so. And again, we're only going to pop glue down the side and along the bottom there. And let's add a little Christmas tree just above it. Like so. So again, the idea is that you can still get your photo in there at the bottom, and it's just going to overlap, and then again up there as well. So just anything that's overlapping where your photo is going to go, you just don't put any glue in those portions. So let's see what we've got to go in here. So the majority of what we've actually got here with the gnomes is those that are skating. but we can fit her because we've got her cut on a corner, so that is going to be sort of the best place. I'm going to swap to my smaller glue. We can add glue. And then we can place that one there. And I'm not coming off of the piece of patterned paper. So again, you can just double check that you're going to be able to get your photo in there, which you absolutely will perfectly. And maybe then we can pop just a couple of small elements here at the top. Fold that one up, and we can do this one here. So I feel like this one could just have a sentiment. And what we could do with this one is we could just mat and layer this just to help it to stand out a little bit more. So that is that one there. And then, so with this one, I don't think this one really needs too much. Again, maybe we can just add a sentiment to that one. Let's just round the corners. Like so. And then we can just have that one just down there. So this is how this one is looking. So loving that. So let's move over. So we've got quite a big sort of space here. We do have a large poinsettia, which we could just cut the bottom off this one. I think this one's going to have a sentiment as well. Let's go with a smaller sentiment. So this is the finished mini album, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I think it's come out so well, especially for my first attempt. I've tried to decorate it as much as I could with everything that comes in this kit. So these paper boutique kits are perfect for creating something like this because you have lots of elements that you can like snip into. So even though there's no official ephemera, there's no kind of sticker sheets and things like that, there's absolutely enough in the kits with the embellishment pads to be able to decorate them up. So as I said earlier in the video, I have put the papers on here in a portrait orientation, but inside is landscape, but I'm okay with that. If it does bother you, then you know, just be careful with how you are trimming your papers when you come to decorate. So we've got the front here. I have popped a Velcro piece just on here. This was all that I had to fasten it closed. It's definitely going to be better with a magnet, which I'm going to order to create another one of these, but at least it does sort of keep it nice and closed. So we have the big gnomes here on the front. I was going to pop a sentiment or something on here. If you were to personalize these, this this front page would be perfect for being able to put someone's name on it. You can put Christmas on it, whatever sort of occasion that this mini album is going to be for. And you can really just customize this, but I'm going to leave it blank so then the person who is going to be winning this can add anything that they want to. So let's just turn this around. So I have decorated all these gusset pieces here. We've got decoration everywhere, even on the pieces on the side, just to give this a really great finished look. So let's pull down our first section. So we're just going to do this in sections here. So here we have our inside flaps, which are going to come out. So the photos in here are, there's 12 spaces for photos in total. You have 2 6x4s and the rest are 3x4s. Hopefully this is going to be a good size for people to be able to print off. It was a great size for the size of the actual mini album itself, because you can get some really nice big photos. You could do smaller photos if you wanted to as well. It really depends sort of what the occasion is. But we've decorated with sentiments. I've cut out some of the gnomes. You see me cut everything out. And then we have these little pieces which were great for little finishing touches for adding to corners and things like that. And then what we've done as well is to make sure that we're not adding glue to any portion that's going to overlap where the photo is going to sit. So you can still then slip your photo into this gap here. So like I said, it's just going to overlap nicely. The same with the sentiment. So I've made sure to not add glue to any of those areas, and then you've got the poinsettia in there as well. You can lift it slightly if it has gone over, just to get that photo in. So we have gone over some of the decorative papers that we've got the names behind, but I'm absolutely okay with that. You can sort of see some of the details down there, and I love that this one is mirrored. So let's open these flaps up to reveal this center portion where we do have our pocket. Now, in terms of the pockets, we've got two. I'm preferring this style here to the one that we've got on the extended portion, only because I found it easier to pop the pieces into, and it hasn't kind of bubbled as much in the middle. So maybe I would consider doing a pocket like this at the bottom, opposed to having it be sort of attached to the piece, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So in here, we've got our decorative papers here. We've added a poinsettia here. So lots of poinsettias around, because they were kind of the most appropriate sized pieces that you could cut out. Some of the gnomes that I had picked, so for example like these gnomes here, they were just slightly too big to fit in here, so I was kind of limited in that sense of what I could trim out. But so we've got our lovely pocket with our poinsettia, and then we have all of these pullouts here. So looking underneath, we've decorated in here, so we do have a 3x4 in here, and this is slipping into that pocket, but you can just bring your photo down, and then again we do have the portions there, you know, where you can get your photo in. It's going to be super easy. We've got a lovely large poinsettia here with then a really cute gnome. So every element is kind of decorated here. So what we've got in this pocket, these pockets are going to be perfect for adding in any additional photos, if you've gone somewhere and you've got like tickets that you want to put in, any sort of pieces that you want to keep for a special, you know, from that special occasion, you can absolutely use these pockets. But what we've got is a 6x4-inch, you know, mat. It is white on the back, so you can add text to the back as if you want to do a little bit of like journaling in here, or you just want to kind of remember certain details about your day or your occasion, then you know you've got plenty of spaces to be writing in here. So that's gonna sit in there, and again, it doesn't matter that it's hiding any decoration. This is designed to be pulled out and kind of looked at. And then we've got a handful of different kind of tags and things. So some of these I have added the twine onto just in a slip knot there. These ones, again, you can add photos to the back of these. Again, you can do more writing on the back, and because it is white as well, it's going to be perfect. You don't have to worry about what pen you're using, but you know, you can use these, you can use them on cards, you can use them as tags on gifts. You know, it really depends what you want to use them for. But again, you've got these ones here. These ones are the die cut elements. They are slightly thicker than these paper versions, but you know, you can use them in whatever way that you want. So again, you've got a lovely big pocket there which can be used to fill you know, in with whatever you want. And then, so let's start with the left hand side. So again, we've got a space in here. I've tried to add sentiments in here as well. So this one, bringing together is the best, being together is the best gift. So again, we've got places in there. We have, you know, space under the sentiment to put our photo, and again, then on the bow as well, which I think is lovely. And then if we open this up, again, then we have, you know, photos on angles. Not everything has to be straight. We've got this one down in the corner. So we've got the poinsettia, the bow there. We've got this lovely, cute little gnomes. But also you would have seen me trimming up some of the front packaging as well. So, you know, you can use these elements on here. This one, because it had the smaller, you know, it had all the papers and the images, but they were all smaller, it made them ideal for cutting those out. So that's what I've used in here as well. But so, you know, we've got our lovely photo here. We've got the sentiment, just believe, with a little Christmas tree. Then this one, we do have, you know, our little girl there with the presents, which is perfect. And again, the same thing with this one, the photo can be tucked in there as well. And you can use these as little pockets as well if you wanted to. If you had something else you want to put there, you could add your photo behind, and you could then slip like a little ticket in there if that related to what you've got going on in that photo. You can use it in that way as well. And then we've got just the poinsettia and the bow with our decorative papers up there. Then moving on to this side, so again, another 3x4. We've got our cute little gnome there. And again, you know, he can be used as a little pocket as well. That's the one thing I haven't added in here specifically, is like little open pockets like this, but you could absolutely use it in that way. Again, if you've got something that relates to your photo, you can use that in there. We've got a sentiment, Happy Christmas, and again, then your photo can just slip up under there. Then opening these up again, I've tried to make every little page different if I can. So here we have the large poinsettia, which again can be used as a pocket, but you know, you can get your photo down there. We've got the little poinsettia and this this festive season in there. And then for our last one, we have just the little cute gnome there with the light. And again, then just decorate the poinsettia, the bow, the Christmas tree, and a large one there as well. So, you know, tons and tons of places here to add as much as you want in here. So let's bring this up again and look at this bottom pocket. Now, the one thing I would say with this one is it seems to be kind of bowing out a little bit, so it needs to be a little bit flatter, but I have got quite a few bits in here now, so everything does sit quite nicely in here. But again, another great pocket in addition to this one to slip your bits and pieces in. So let's take all of these out. So we had the paper with the lovely gnome with the candle, which I think is perfect. We've got another photo here, 3x4, which will slip into that pocket. We've got the sentiment, family isn't an important thing, it's everything, which I think is perfect because this is Christmas themed. So a lot of people spend Christmas with their families and seeing different family members. We've got then an additional poinsettia down here with walking in a winter wonderland, which is lovely. Again, I've tried to incorporate as many sentiments in here as possible. And then for our pocket, we have another 6x4. So these can be portrait or landscape. I've written it in a landscape orientation, but you don't need to stick to that at all. So that's going to be in there. Again, you can just write on the back if you want to, you know, use that how you want to. You've got another one of these little tag pieces, and then we have 4 of these additional tags in here. Again, you can add photos to the back, like I said, writing on them, or you can use them as tags on your Christmas makes and presents and things. So we've got the lovely big gnome there. We've got this one, enjoy the festive season, and then we have the ice skating gnome and this one with the foliage, which I think is lovely. So those pieces can be just popped back in there just to fill up that pocket. So that is a look at this mini album, just to try and zoom out a little bit to give you a bigger overview of this. I think this is absolutely lovely. I love how this has turned out, especially for my first one. I couldn't be more pleased, yeah, with how this is looking. Lots of spaces in here. I can't wait to create one to use for myself. I've got a few other Paper Boutique kits. I've got other patterned paper pads which can be used for this as well, 12x12s. So, you know, I'm not going to be short of different papers to use for a mini album like this. So now on to picking a winner to receive this lovely Christmas mini album here. So we had 9 people enter this competition. So I've written all of your names out here, and we've got a random number generator on my phone here. So we've got 1 to 9. So let's generate a number and see who has won this mini album. So number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Joe Cliff. So congratulations, Joe. If you could send me a message and I can grab your address and I can get this posted out for you. I just want to thank everybody else who commented and entered. It really means a lot to me that you would want to win this mini album and, you know, something that I have created. So this is something that I want to do again. So definitely look out for the next giveaway of one of these mini albums. So that is going to be it for today's video, showing you how to decorate this mini album. Don't forget to check out the first video, part 1, where I showed you how to make the actual mini album itself. So having made this one, I'm interested to see how we can adapt it a little bit and maybe to make it work a little bit more as well. So do check out those videos if you're interested in these mini albums. I will leave in the description box down below the measurements for the mats and layers for all of the different portions. So, you know, you've got the flaps and on all the bits and pieces. I'll leave that down there, and you do have all of the measurements to create this mini album in that first video as well. So again, do check that out if you want to be able to recreate this same mini album. If you got anything from this video, whether it was pure enjoyment or you want to give this mini album a go, please hit that like button as well. And on screen now is another video that I think you'll be very interested in watching. So what are you waiting for? Click on that video and have a great day.